ಕಂಪೋಸರ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ವೆಂಕಟದಾಸರು. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ. சத்ரஜிதன மகளெத்தித உன்மத்த நரகனோடு தாட்டிட, சத்ரஜித்தன மகளெத்தித உன்மத்த நரகனோடு தாட்டிட. மத்தே கெடகிட ಅವನಂಗವ ಸದಿಹಿತ್ತನುದ ಲಿಂಗನವ. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ. 16,000 ನಾರಿಯರು ಸೇರಿ ಮುಡದಿಂಡ ಬೀಡಿಸಿ ಮನೋಹರ. 16,000 ನಾರಿಯರ ಸೇರಿ ಮುಡದಿಂಡ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಮನೋಹರ. ಅದಿತಿಯ ಕುಂದಲ ಕಲಿಸಿಡಹರ. ವಿಧಿಸೂರನ್ ರಿಬರನು ಸಲಹಿದ ಧೀರ. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ. ಉತ್ತಮ ಬ್ರಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷಪೂರವ ಭಗದತ್ತಾಗೆ ಕೋಟವಾರ ಭಯವ. ಉತ್ತಮ ಬ್ರಜ್ಯೋತಿಷಪೂರವ ಭಗದತ್ತಾಗೆ ಕೋಟವರ ಭಯವ. ಕರ್ತ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯನ ನಂಬಿಡೆ ಶ್ರೀಮೂರ್ತಿಯ ಪಾದವ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಹಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ. ನರಗ ಚತುರ್ಥಸಿ ಪರ್ವದ ದೀನ ಹರ್ಷದಿ ಪ್ರಕಟದನು ದೇವ. ನರಗ ಚತುರ್ಥಸಿ ಪರ್ವದ ದೀನ ಹರ್ಷದಿ ಪ್ರಕಟದನು ದೇವ. ಶರಣಾಗದ ಜನ ವತ್ಸಲ ರಂಗ ಪರಮ ಭಕ್ತವಾದರ ಬರಿಬಾಲ. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನ ಬಗೆ. ಹೊಗಳಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯನ ಮಹಿಮೆಯ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ನಗರದ ಅರಸನ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯ. ಹೊಗಳಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯನ ಮಹಿಮೆಯ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ನಗರದ ಅರಸನ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯ. ಜಗದೀಶ ಪ್ರಸವನ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶನು ಭಕ್ತರಾಗರಿ ರವಿಕೋಟಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶನು. ಅಕ್ಕಿಯ ಹೆಗಲೇರಿ ಬಂದ ಬಗೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ, ನೋಡಕ್ಕ ಮನಸೋತೆ ನಾನವಗೆ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. Translation. He who came riding on a bat's shoulder, I fell in love with him. Killed the demon Naragasura, the maddened one who kidnapped Satyabhama's daughter. He then broke his anklet and embraced his consort. He liberated 16,000 princes from their captivity. He retrieved the splendid earrings of Aditi and protected kings and gods. He gave the boon of safety to Bhagadatta, king of Bragjodi Sapura. I believe in Lord Krishna and have embraced the feet of the divine being. On the day of Naraga Chaturtasi, the gods joyfully manifested. He is the protector of those who take refuge in him, the one who takes care of the devotees. Praising the greatness of Lord Krishna, the king of the city of liberation, that is Mukti Nagari, the Lord Prasanna Venkatesa protects the devotees and shines with the brilliance of million suns. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hari Bol. Such a wonderful kirtan. Thank you so much, Muthumanikam Prabhuji, for singing for us every single day and inspiring all of us, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All right, so let's begin our class. We'll Hare Krishna Pushpa Mataji, Hare Krishna Krishnadas Prabhuji. Thank you for joining in.
Hare Krishna Mata Idanva Pranam.
Not pronounced Mataji. Thank you for joining. All right, very nice to have you all. So, would anyone like to sing Mangalacharan today? Hare Krishna. Anyone would want to sing? All right, I'll sing Mangalacharan and then we'll begin our class.
Mataji, tomorrow I will sing Mataji.
Hari Bol Mataji. Very nice.
Sorry for the
Thank you,
inconvenience.
No problem, Mataji. You recover well and you can sing Mataji. Absolutely fine. Thank you so much, Shweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन All right, so now it is time for all of you to unmute your lines and we are going to begin our class. So, just a quick recap of what did we cover yesterday. Would anyone like to quickly summarize? Hare Krishna.
George offered to help the devotees get a building in London, and also he spoke of making a Hare Krishna record.
So, Prabhuji, who was George Prabhuji?
He is a Beatles thing.
Yes, Hari Bol. Right? He's from the Beatles
Hare
group.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Muthumanikam Prabhuji, you're trying to say something?
Yes.
I think Prabhuji got disconnected. Okay. Okay, Ekambar Prabhuji, you can continue. So where did we start the class yesterday? Can we go in the same sequence? Where did we start yesterday? We were in New Vrindavan, right? That is where we started.
Yeah.
Right? So what was happening in New Vrindavan? Hare Krishna, anyone?
Hare Krishna
Muthuman-
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You're trying to say something and then I
At
got
New,
think.
yes, Mataji. At New Vrindavan, hills of Virginia, Prabhupada planned 7 temples and named 7
Hari Bol.
deity names also.
So that
And,
seven temples, it was basis what? Why did he want to build 7 temples in the new Vrindavana? Why did he say that he wanted those 7 temples?
Hare Krishna Mataji Janotna. Because Prabhupada wanted New Vrindavan like a original old Vrindavan in India. There are 7 Devalayas in Vrindavan. So on that exactly that kind of
Yes,
environment he wanted there.
absolutely. Haribol Mataji, so beautifully said. Right? Same uh, 7 temples which is there in old Vrindavan. He wanted to create it, replicate it in the new Vrindavan. And he said he will personally get the deities for each of the temple, right? That's what he committed. Very nice. And then what happened next? Why did he leave New Vrindavan? What exactly happened? Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to
From
share?
New Vrindavan, Prabhupada compelled to travel London, Los Angeles, and San Francisco.
Yes, Haribol. Right? He had to go.
And
Yeah.
during the London visit, he met Shyam Sundara and Mugunda, and building a storefront there. And in London, he met Mr. George Harrison.
Did Srila Prabhupada meet?
George Harrison given the front to build a Krishna conscious movement there. And he called Beatles music group, and
So Prabhuji, did
John
Srila
Lennon,
Prabhupada come
Ringo
and meet
Starr,
George?
and another one person.
Hare Krishna. Am I
Mataji
audible?
voice is breaking.
Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, sir.
So my question to all of you is, did Srila Prabhupada go and meet George, or what was happening?
No, Mataji, Prabhupada did not meet directly George. George meet with the 3 devotees pair and George and other Beatles team they met, but George showed more interest because he was returned from India, so he knew Indian philosophy, but he was not able to found a true guru as per his inquisitiveness. And all these things are communicated to the Prabhupada by the letters, and Prabhupada also replying them, okay, you meet the George, and but not totally depend on the George. You search for another person in another like store or buildings for.
They are going to build themselves and rent it. Yeah. Very nice, Mataji. Haribol. So beautifully summarized. Wonderful, Pushpa Mataji. Right? So the 3 couples whom he sent to London, they were the ones who were actually who met George, who got the connect of George by Krishna's mercy. They wanted the Beatles group to sing Chandi Hare Krishna mantra. Right? So that is how they, and George also fortunately said he was he's heard Prabhupada's Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting, and is that kind of interests him a lot. And he said, I would like to contribute, I would like to support. He came forward, he said, I'm feeling some divine association with Krishna, and all of that he said, and he volunteered to support, right? So that is how they also felt some magic was happening. And they were constantly updating Srila Prabhupada that. What was happening in London. That is when, like Pushpa Mataji said, Srila Prabhupada also said not to depend completely on George, but he said you also try to build something from your end. So that was the advice given. So that's where we concluded the last class. So we will continue from there. So whoever would like to read, please raise your hands. We'll go in the same sequence. Just for the benefit of some people who have joined the class newly, I just wanted to reiterate that anyone who would like to read, you'll have to raise your hands. There's a hand option in the Zoom meeting, right? So if you click that, you will be able to raise your hands, and or probably there's an option called reactions, right? In that, if you'll be able to see an option called raise hand, to click that. if you want to read. Okay, and I will let you in the same sequence in which participants raise hands. Each devotee who raises hand will get a chance to read one page. Okay, and once that page gets concluded, I will stop them and then I will ask the next devotee to continue. So this is how we've been doing. So I thought I'll just reiterate for the benefit of the new devotees who've joined in. Okay, so all those who are interested, please raise your hands. In the Zoom meeting, you can find that option. In reactions, click and you please raise your hand. Keep your hand raised. Once you finish reading, I will lower your hand automatically. Is that clear to all of you? Any questions?
Yes, Mata, clear.
Okay. Yes. So, Prabhuji, you can also raise your hand if you're interested. All of you are interested, please raise your hands. Okay. So, we will start now. My screen is visible, right?
No, not yet. Now it is clear.
It's visible?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, great. So, we concluded with this. So, so they're constantly interacting with Srila Prabhupada through letters, right? And that is what we're motivating the devotees, constant letters from Srila Prabhupada. So on Jan 11th, also Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to devotees in London expressing more ideas of how George could best serve Krishna. And he said, I'm so glad that Mr. Harrison is composing songs like Lord whom we so long ignored. And he said he's very thoughtful. When we actually meet, I shall be able to give him thoughts about separation from Krishna, and they'll be able to compose very attractive songs for public reception. The public is in need of such songs, and if they're administered through nice agents like the Beatles, it'll surely be a great success, right? So that's what he said. And later, George would record some of these songs. His My Sweet Lord was the number one single in America for 2 months, and his million selling album, Living in the Material World, was number one on Billboard for 5 weeks. So they've got association with such a popular personality. And Prabhupada cautioned the devotees not to simply depend on George for help, but to try to find a building themselves and then rent it. Right, so this is where we concluded. So I see Shweta Mataji, your hand is raised first. You can start, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. George did want to help, however, and again he suggested the devotees make a record on the Apple label. An old favorite idea of the London devotees had been to get the Beatles to make a record chanting Hare Krishna. If the Beatles did it, the mantra would certainly become world famous. George liked the idea, but he preferred that the devotees sing it and he produce it on the Apple label. You guys make the money rather than we get it, he said. Let's make a record. So the devotees went over to George's house for a chanting session. George dubbed in his guitar, and a few weeks later the devotees returned and had heard their tape. George was ready to try a session at the studio. So the devotees agreed to meet him and his musician friend Billy Purston at Ring Studios on St. Anne's Alley. They recorded for a few hours. Sorry. The tape sounded good. George and Shamsundar agreed on a date for the actual recording. On the day of the recording, about a dozen devotees, including some newly recruited Britishers, assembled at EMI recording studios on Abbey Road. Sorry. When the first group of devotees arrived in George Mercedes, a crowd of teenagers began singing Hare Krishna to the tune popularized by the rock musical Hair, while Yamuna applied Vaishnava Tilaka to the foreheads of the recording technicians. Malati began unpacking the picnic baskets of prasadams she had brought, and some of other devotees put up pictures of Krishna and lit incense. The studio was Krishnaized, with Paul McCartney and his wife Linda operating the control console. The recording session began. Everyone worked quickly, making side one of the 45 RPM record in about an hour. Played making side George played organ and Mukunda played mridanga. Yamuna sang the lead with Shyam Sundar backing her, and the other voices blended in a chorus. And to make it come out exactly right, everyone concentrated on Prabhupada and prayed for spiritual strength. On the fourth take, everything went smoothly, with Malti spontaneously hitting a brass going at the end. Then they recorded the flip side of the record, prayers to the Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, and his associates, and six Goswamis. Afterward, George dubbed in the bass guitar and other voices. The devotees, engineers, everyone felt good about it. This is going to be big, George promised. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Sadhu Pranam.
Shweta Mataji, Danvat Pranams. Despite throat issues, you volunteering to read so much is amazing, Mataji. Very inspiring. Thank you so much, Shweta Mataji. Hari bol to you. All right. So, Pushpa Mataji, you can continue next, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Danvat Pranams, Mataji.
As the record went into the production, the devotee returned to their regular work, still living separately. Prabhupada set the time of his arrival for early September. He would go to Hamburg and then came to London. He said, even if there was no temple, miraculously only 2 months before Prabhupada's arrival, things began to came together. Guru Das met a real estate agent with a building on Bury Place, near the British Museum. The devotee could move in immediately. An ideal location, £41 a week, and immediate occupancy. It was wonderful. Mukunda wrote Prabhupada asking him for money for the down payment. Prabhupada agreed. Shyam Sundar got a letter from George on Apple Corporation Limited stationery stating that Apple would guarantee payment if the devotee defaulted. Within a week, the devotees had a five-story building in central London. But when the devotees went to live at their new center on Place, city officials said they did not have the proper housing permits. The red tape could take weeks, even months. Again, the devotees were without a place to live and worship together. Shyam Sundara, however, on faith that everything would work out, began constructing a temple room of California redwood in the building. John Lennon then suggested to Shyam Sundar that the devotees came and live with him at Dittenhurst, a large estate that he had recently purchased near Escott. He needed some renovation done, and if the devotees would help, he would give him a place to live. Can our guru also stay there? Shyam Sundar asked. John agreed, and the devotees moved into the former servants' quarter at John's estate. Only a few weeks before Prabhupada's arrival, the record Hare Krishna mantra was released. Apple Records staged a promotion and brought press reporters and photographs in multicolor bus to a blue and white pavilion where the devotees had gathered with George. The first day, record sold 70,000 copies. Within a few weeks, the devotees appeared on the popular TV show Top of the Pop singing their song. John Lennon Estate, formerly owned by the Cadbury family, consistent of 76 acres of lawn and forest with a large manor. Mataji, I continue till that paragraph, no?
Yes, Mataji.
And many smaller buildings. John and his wife Yoko lived in the manor. The servants' quarter where Prabhupada and the devotee were to live were four separate apartments in a single narrow building near the manor. About 15 devotees moved in, reserving one apartment for Prabhupada and his servant. But this was not the first time the Lenin had 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 devotees as guests. A few months before, in May, several devotees had chanted Hare Krishna with John and Yoko in their shoot at Montreal Queen Elizabeth Hotel. Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Pushpa Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sharmila Mataji. Thank you for joining in. You can continue, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. John wanted the devotees to tear out the hardwood walls and floors in the main house and replace them with new walls and black and white marble tile floors. While this renovation was beginning, Ishana, who had recently arrived from Canada, began with a few helpers to convert the old music recital hall into a temple, complete with the Vyasasana for Prabhupada. The devotees worked day and night on Prabhupada's quarters, the temple room, and Prabhupada's Vyasasana. With such energy did they work that John and Yoko could see that the devotees were obviously in love with their spiritual master. When the devotees were making a tape to send to Prabhupada in Germany, Ishana asked John if he had anything he wanted to say to their guru. John smiled and said he would like to know Prabhupada's secret that made his followers so devoted. The stage was set. The time had come for the principal character to enter. Lord Krishna's pure devotee was at last coming to England. For the six devotees who had pioneered Krishna consciousness in London, it had been a long struggle, but now it seemed that all their once impossible dreams were coming true. They had found a place for Prabhupada to live, and they had obtained a temple in the center of London. This was Krishna's blessing. Should I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. You can continue, Mataji.
Okay, September 11, 1969. With the cooperation of Apple Records, the Lufthansa German Airlines, the devotees arranged a reception for Prabhupada at London's Heathrow Airport. As soon as Prabhupada descended the stairs of the airplane, he was escorted to a car and driven to a VIP lounge, bypassing the formalities of immigration and customs. As Prabhupada stepped from the car, the devotees ran out of the terminal and offered obeisances on the wet pavement, while Srila Prabhupada looked down on them smiling. The devotees rose, brushing wet macadam from their dhotis and saris, and joyfully surrounded Prabhupada as he entered the lounge.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Muttamanikam Prabhuji. You can continue, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The reporters moving in. What do you think of this reception? Prabhupada, I'm not very much fond of reception. I wanted to know how people give reception to this movement. That is my concern. Devotees is unison. Ariboli. Reporter, is this a very special welcome for you, or is this a performance you go through each day? Prabhupada, no. Wherever I go, I have got my disciples. In Western countries, I have got about 20 centers, especially in America. So the American boys are very enthusiastic. I think in London, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, I got a very great reception in the Ratha Yatra festival. About 10,000 boys and girls followed me for 7 miles. Devotees, Haribol. Sun reporter. What do you try to teach, sir? Prabhupada, I am trying to teach what you have forgotten. Devotees laughing. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Sun reporter. Which is what? Prabhupada, that is God. Some of you are saying that there is no God. Some of you are saying God is dead. And some of you are saying God is impersonal or avoid. Why? These are all nonsense. I want to teach all the nonsense people that there is God. That is my mission. Any nonsense can come to me. I shall prove that there is God. That is my Krishna conscious movement. It is a challenge to the atheistic people. This is God. As we are sitting here face to face, you can see God face to face. If you are sincere and if you are serious, that is possible. Unfortunately, you are trying to forget God. Therefore, you are embracing so many miseries of life. So, I am simply preaching that you become Krishna conscious and be happy. Don't be swayed by these nonsense waves of Maya or illusions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, so wonderful. Thank you so much, Matmanikam Prabhuji. The next page I think has got missed. The next two pages we did while scanning it has got missed. So, Ekambar Prabhuji, would you like to read today?
As you say, Mother. If anybody wants to read, let them read.
So Prabhuji, you have the book, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because page 164 is missing in the scan copy. So we finished page 163. Can you read it
Yeah.
directly from the book, Prabhuji?
Oh,
Page
sure.
164? Yeah.
The reporters asked about Billy Graham, the moon landing, this war, the war in Ireland, and the whereabouts of Prabhupada's wife and children. They asked him to turn his head down toward them, and they clicked away with their camera. They thanked him, and the reception dispersed. Prabhupada went from the building to the gleaming white Rolls Royce, awaiting him outside, courtesy of John Lennon. Prabhupada entered the back seat and sat cross-legged. The limousine was equipped with darkened windows and lavish interior, including a television. The devotees had become so confused in their excitement that none of them had thought to John Prabhupada, and the chauffeur wished the man to Titan hush. Prabhupada sat silently, except for his occasionally audible chanting as the chauffeur headed through the winding roads leading away from the airport. He was in England. His father, Gaur Mohan, had never wanted him to come to England. Once an uncle had told Gaur Mohan that his son should go to England to become a barrister. But Mohan had said, no, if his son went there, the meat eaters, drinkers, and sex mongers might influence him. But now, 70 years later, Prabhupada had indeed come to London, not to be influenced by the Englishmen, but to influence them. He had come to teach them what they had forgotten, and he was off to a good start under Krishna's special care when he had to live alone in New York City without any money. That had been Krishna's mercy. And now he was entering England in a shepherd limousine, also Krishna's mercy. Accepting the ride as part of Krishna's plan, Prabhupada remained deeply fixed in the purpose of carrying out the order of his spiritual master, whatever circumstances awaited. One more panel is there. Shall I read?
Yes, Prabhuji, finish that page, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada arrived before the disciples, but those who had remained at the manor excitedly received him and showed him to his room on the second floor of the servants' quarters. The small room was chilly and damp, with a low table for a desk and a wall-to-top carpeting. made from pieces of rug taken from other room. The adjoining room was bare with even smaller. Prabhupada sat down at his lower desk very several years. As he leaned back and gazed out the window, he saw rain just beginning to fall.
Thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna.
Ji. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. And
Hare
with you. All right. Anyone else would like to read next?
Hare Krishna. Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Mataji, you have the book, Mataji?
Yes.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. When John, and Yoko dropped by after Prabhupada's lunch, Shyamasundara invited them to come up and meet Prabhupada. George turned to John and asked, "Do you want to go up?" The bearded, bespectacled master of Tittenhurst, hair down to his shoulders, assented. Yoko was also curious, so they all went to Prabhupada's little room. Smiling graciously from behind his desk, Prabhupada asked his guests to enter and be seated. Here were two of the most famous people in England, and Krishna wanted him to speak to them. Prabhupada removed his garland and handed it to Shyamasundara, indicating that he should put it around George's neck. "Thank you," said George. "Hare Krishna." Prabhupada smiled. "This is Krishna's blessing." "Hare Krishna," George replied again. "Yes," Prabhupada said. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad Acharati Shreshtas Tattad Evetaro Janaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokas Tad Anuvartate. The idea is that anything which is accepted by the leading persons, ordinary persons follow. Yadyad Acharati Shreshtaha. Shreshtaha means leading persons. Acharati means act. Whatever leading persons act, people in general follow them. If the leading person says it is nice, then it is all right. The others also accept it. So, by the grace of God, Krishna, you are leaders. Thousands of young men follow you. They like you. So, if you give them something actually nice, the face of the world will change. Although George and John were about the same age as most of the Prabhupada's disciples, Prabhupada considered them Shreshtas, respected leaders. You are also anxious to bring some peace in the world, Prabhupada continued. I have read sometimes your statement. You are anxious also. Everyone is. Every saintly person should be anxious to bring in peace in the world. But we must know the process. He explained the peace formula. According to the Bhagavad Gita, only those who recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the proprietor of everything, the object of all sacrifices, and the friend of everyone can find real peace. Prabhupada then told the two Beatles even more directly that he had already hinted at. Then they should learn Krishna consciousness and help teach it to the world. I request you to at least understand this philosophy to your best knowledge, he said. If you think it is nice, pick it up. You are also willing to give something to the world. So try this. You have read our books. This is Bhagavad Gita as it is. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Hari Bol, Danvat Pranams. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji. Very beautiful. Okay, so we'll just read this page as well and we'll conclude with this page. Who would like to read next? Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, should I read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Go ahead, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
John, I have read bits of the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know which version it was. There is so many different translations. But Prabhupada, there are different translations. Therefore, I have given this edition Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada explained that the material world is a place of misery. Nature is cruel. In America, President Kennedy was thought to be the most misfortunate, happy man honored throughout the world. But within a second, Prabhupada loudly snapped his fingers. He was finished. Temporary. Now, what is his position? Where is he? If life is eternal, if the living entity is eternal, where he has gone? What is he doing? Is he happy or is he distressed? He is born in America or China. Nobody can say. But it is a fact that as a living entity, he is eternal, he is existing. Prabhupada explained the transmigration of the soul. Then again he requested try to understand it, and it is a nice, you take it up. You are after something very nice. Is my proposal unreasonable? The two Beatles glanced at one another, but he did not answer. Prabhupada gave a soft, amused laugh. You are all intelligent boys. Try to understand it. Prabhupada asked his guests what philosophy they were following. Following, John asked. We don't follow anything, Yogo said. We are just living. We have done meditation. Meditation, said Charles. Or I do my meditation mantra meditation. They began to ask questions. The same question Prabhupada had had so many times before. After hearing Prabhupada's explanation of Brahman, the all-pervading spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogo doubted whether Brahman would remain pure and not deteriorate in time. Prabhupada advised that she could have to become a serious student before she could actually understand spiritual philosophy. John and Yoko, being devoted eclects, had difficulty accepting Prabhupada's concept of Vedic authority. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Tamil pranams. Thank you so much. So we will conclude with this today and we will continue from the next page tomorrow. So finally, Srila Prabhupada landed in the land of London, England, and the temple is also established. And look at Krishna's mercy, what a royal, like once he entered the land, what a royal kind of reception he's received, right? They've described the car, the limousine in which Srila Prabhupada went. So everything has been very royal. So that is Krishna's mercy. He didn't have even a penny when he landed in the West, and now so many centers opened. So such magic is happening. So we will let's continue chanting and we will continue to read tomorrow. Please read and come, revise and come for the class tomorrow so that we can all summarize quickly and then read further. Okay, so I think there are just few more pages and then we will be done with chapter 4 as well. So maybe in another 2 classes or so, 2 to 3 classes we should be able to finish. Okay, so please join. Thank you everyone. Anja kalpata rubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.